Pokemon, a game known for its exceptionally easy, while extremely customizable gaming experience. Very few two Pokemon playthroughs are ever the same. Well, unless you're building teams like this, that is. What if we made the baby game harder than Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and fucking 6 put together by adding permanent death, level caps, no switching, and absolutely no items in battle. All while I'm only using Pokemon so rare that if they were to die, it would take me pretty much forever to replace them. Oh yeah, and just because they are rare, doesn't mean they're any good. They just sort of sparkle. Yeah, that's about it. I'm not even kidding here. All the while having a ticking time bomb of a clock that I can never have exceed 100 hours. Meaning the Pokemon I have before the timer stops is all I can use. Also, did I mention that I'm doing this in Pokemon Fire Red? What? Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. Games about going back to where the Pokemon franchise all started. Again. Yeah, even back then we've already played the Kanto games 6 times before this. 7, if you are Japanese, in which I feel sorry for you. Not because you had to play Kanto 7 times. That's based. No, for the fact that you are Japanese. That do gotta be one of the worst disabilities. See, the odds for a shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green hadn't quite got the software update yet, just to make these things even make sense to hunt. Yeah, I'm talking 1 in over 8,000 non-shiny Pokemon for every 1 shiny Pokemon. I mean, to be fair, these games are old. This man got a whole wife and 3 kids.
I would rather be dead than have a wife and 3 kids.
My brother in Christ, you have it all wrong. I'd rather have a dead wife and 3 kids. I guess I should mention, the only way this challenge can even be made possible is if the 100-hour clock is only being used by the in-game time. Because believe it or not, 100 hours IRL just zooms by when you're having this much fun. Yeah, let me just show you what you're missing out on here. A simple task of resetting the game over and over again for your starter can take, well, no joke, days. But according to the clock, there hasn't even been a singular minute yet. It's like I'm in the hyperbolic time chamber, training my autism to its absolute peak. The core kit starter for this run may be Charizard, but Charizard is already the built-in baby hard mode, well, especially early on, and we're literally playing with days of my life here. So if I were to choose Charmander, because, it's cool, and later black, at any moment, a water, rock, or even half this game's typings could just sneeze in our general direction, and I would have lost days of my life for nothing, just for some swag. That in mind, I'm going to choose Bulbasaur as our very first hunt, not because it's my favorite starter of all time, because of the strats. I know it's hard to believe you two funny men with shiny things for brains would rather consider strategy, but trust me, I can't be wasting any more time than this already takes. Yeah, my landlord already wants to evict me. I haven't ate in 4 days, but eventually we got on board. I didn't increase the shiny odds at all, so this took a day and a half. After nearly losing Bulbasaur, exactly 50 seconds from getting him, thanks to the non-skippable rival battle, we can finally, ever so slowly, start the grind. Well, which is, just running back to mommy anytime Bulbasaur is even in close to crit range here. Yep, I'm not taking any chances. But wait, there's more! Since this is a hardcore Nuzlocke, we can't overlevel past, 14. So we're never truly safe from the instant death that is RNG. Jesus is ruining my life! But the good thing is, we chose Bulbasaur. We won't need another Pokemon hunt for at least 2 badges. After we absolutely destroy Brock. Being 4 times weak to grass had nothing to do with it, of course. Now, what's the clock looking like? Well, it looks like we only have just under 2 hours of gameplay. The resetting for 2 days didn't quite count, thankfully. And well, since I really underestimated how much XP we would be racking up before the next gym, Ivysaur over here is getting leveled up faster than my credit card debt, meaning we already can't use Ivysaur anymore. Just like my credit card. That is until we defeat the next gym, meaning we are forced into our very first real-time shiny hunt, where I decided to hunt for the cat. Well, only because, highest level area, sorta, and it can learn Dig, which by my calculation should be enough to single-handedly defeat the next gym. But I'm not too sure if we'll survive the boat before that. Yeah, our rival's on there. And well, let's just say our rival's not the easiest in this game. Well, you see, RNGesus decided to play a little cruel joke on me and blessed me with a shiny Pidgey. You know, the only Pokemon in this area, weak to the next gym. Wow, that only took 19 hours and 40 minutes. And you know what? Why don't we just do it again? No, seriously. With Pissbird over here, I really have no choice. I mean, in no world can a level cap Pissbird beat a war hero and his electric rodents. I mean, most likely couldn't even beat the Frenchman on the boat. This is where I got the genius idea. The, in fact, big brain toddler grind set idea to get something really rare and unique. I'm talking about a shiny Pokemon that no one has ever even gotten before. Pokemon people haven't even considered. The shiny in-game trade, Mr. Mime. Well, you see, for the small price of one Abra, of course, of the non-shiny variety, what do you think I am, crazy? We could trade it for a Mr. Mime. And, well, if you think about it, if we did this trade like 6,000 times, maybe we can get nothing. Yep, this trade is in fact, shiny locked. Yep, meaning that no matter how many times you were to trade it, it would always be the exact same Mr. Mime you would get. And I would have only wasted, half a day's work. Well, at least it wasn't on the in-game clock, am I right? So I guess we're back to the fields. Except this time, far away from Pidgey. In fact, I'm in an area where Spearow are much more common. Yep. Just can't escape the birds. I don't want any more birds. The government manufactured the birds. All birds are but Chinese drones. And they're watching you. And they're waiting. Our best case scenario, as stupid as this truly is about to sound, is either a monkey, a rat, or the snake. If we get another bird, I'm gonna microwave a 10-year-old child. In the Pokemon world, of course, I'm not that crazy. After a grand total of 6 hours and 30 minutes, we come across a glow stick vomit snake that we capture with maximum fill swiftness. If you haven't noticed by now, I'm not nicknaming any of our captured pets. At any moment, they could just die, and they'll be gone forever. So there's no reason to really be attached to them. They are simply just our weapons. Speaking of weapons, after boarding the SS Titanic and defeating a Frenchman and rubbing an old man's back, we learned the ability to cut trees. Here we gotta pick through the trash a little bit until we turn the laser beams off. Pros still got the PTSD from the Great Pokemon War. Don't worry about that. The whole war arc was just simply filler. PTSD? No. I simply just have nostalgia from when the bombs were dropped. The garbage is guarded by some trainers, but thankfully we have just a few levels to spare. So Ekans becomes our first fully evolved weapon. After disarming the lasers and making it to the war veteran, our snake digs some trenches and one-shots all of his Pokemon. Well, almost one-shots all of his Pokemon. That one do be thick. Getting us the gym badge and raising our level cap so that we can use Ivysaur again. And would you look at that? We're only 35 hours on the clock. Yeah, 35 hours. I mean, I can't even stress how hard it was to train up this level 6 snake without it dying. This took many hours on its own. I mean, it also doesn't help that I got lost in this dark cave shortly after, because I refused to use Flash or learn the way through this rock tunnel, despite playing these games, more than one person ever should have. After stumbling over the dark cave and avoiding every trainer I could to make sure that we are as underleveled as possible, so that Pidgeotto can train in the next gym, as it is much safer than this dark cave. Of course, you see, the bird eats plants, meaning the bird beats plants. Yeah. There is one problem with my plan here. Well, you see, this nice gentleman staring inside the window here of the gym warned us that this gym is full of women. Oh God, no, not my weakness. Thank God for the bird who got us out of here as quick as possible. Maybe China isn't so bad. After defeating that gym and seeing that many women in one place, I really gotta wind down and shiny hunt the real life way by hitting the casino. You can use your casino coins to purchase Pokemon, and one of those Pokemon is a Dratini. Might be the most effective way to hunt it. I mean, it is totally the fastest way to hunt the shiny Abra. You max out your coins, buy like 50 of these at a time. You don't even have to worry about them teleporting away. But for this high of a stakes, I want a Pokemon that is worth it, even if it is 2,800 coins And we only start with 50. For me, when the child video game has gambling. Oh yeah, I think I will spin those child slot machines. Alright, Jesus really took the wheel. We even got jackpots back to back. Only 3 spins apart at one point. Well, if only that's how real life worked. Then I could use my credit cards again. Well, we grind up just enough coins, but only after, what was it, 6 hours! And that's before we start the resets. Now it's time for the process of purchasing a Dratini, checking if it's shiny, and then gambling for another 6 hours, and repeating the process. I'm just kidding. Obviously, I'm gonna reset after every non-shiny Dratini, so the clock doesn't totally run out after we check, like 4? But after what had to be at least a few thousand Dratinis, like hundreds of gigabytes of captured gameplay later, we eventually get ourselves a shiny Noodle Dragon. Oh boy, I can't wait to train this one up. I mean, at least it can learn some very good TMs. Yeah, that's a plus. The only smart thing we can do now is take revenge on the bastards who stole my money gambling. Not myself. I'm talking about the mob that secretly operate underneath this legal establishment. They really think they can get away with ruining my life, huh? Well, I'm the only one that gets to do that and live to tell the tale. Nothing quite keeps me down better than myself. Fucking Dark Link in this. Team Rocket Hideout is a pretty cool way to slip and slide around, and would be a pretty fun experience if I didn't have to run back to the Pokemon Center every time my noodle got slightly hurt. But after defeating the Team Rocket Godfather and evolving our dinosaur into a yellow palm tree, I just realized now that, well, I have left my HM slave in our party this whole time, and our Cut Cat has already picked up a lot of rare candies. I didn't realize just how broken this ability was in this game. Even though there's no wonder why they patched it later on. Too bad we have a level cap to maintain. But later, these rare candies are going to become very useful. I'm probably going to save them for the Elite Four. Hence, if we make it there, that is. Making our way to Lavender Town to the pet cemetery, we run into a Frenchman who is non-canonically visiting his dead rat. I'm not sure if we killed it, or if it's because bro stayed on the Titanic. That just might have been a canon event. Brother, your hamster was supposed to be microwaved. Miguel said it was a canon event. Yeah, this battle wasn't easy due to our current rule set. You never know when a stray hit could kill, especially when you're up against the Gyarados this early on. It doesn't help that our Noodle Dragon didn't evolve until after a few ghost battles. But now that it is fully evolved, it is a great addition to our team nonetheless. Yeah, it helps to know that we're actually going to have a Dragonite at the end of this run. Well, I mean, if it lives to tell the tale, that is. Because the level cap eventually does get higher than Dragonite's very high level requirement to evolve. Feeding the ghost of Cubone's mother and separating families the hard way, and wiping out all of the Team Rocket presents, saving an old man, where he gives us a flute of the polka variety, which is a very good instrument for waking up your mom, who just happens to be in our way here. See, I really didn't want to fight your mom here because she's a woman. So I just ran away so that she can return to the mountains where she belongs. And then we make our way to the next gym. Sadly, there are a lot of trainers in our way before we can do that. Making running back and forth, a requirement, not a necessity. This far in, I will not ruin my perfect record. I can't afford to spend more time in the casino. Because no joke, we're almost at 50 hours in this run already. And we're barely halfway done the run. This fight goes absolutely terrible for us, and we just almost lose our entire team. There was one moment, I wasn't even sure we were going to win at all. We opened up with Arbok, since his dig is super effective on all of his Pokemon, but his Coughing, who happens to have Levitate, so is unable to be hit by grounded moves. We take it out with 2 crunches, after having our accuracy dramatically drop, making it perfect for him to go into Muck, who doesn't have Levitate, but has Minimize, making it even harder to hit with Dig. And when we do eventually hit it, we don't do nearly enough. Even worse, after we actually hit 2 digs, he just heals it up and goes for more Minimizes, making us continuously miss. Somehow we hit not 1, but 2 more digs, and the last one being a critical, somehow taking out the Muck. That could have easily been where it all ended, but that's not even his strongest Pokemon. We're not even done. Next up, we bite away his Coughing, only leaving his Wheezing left. So I switch into Venusaur in hopes to put it to sleep, but we get smoke bombed on entrance. We somehow hit a very low accuracy sleep powder, meaning we have a slight chance now. So I go into Dratini, just for him to full heal his Wheezing up next turn, waking it up before we can even attack. Since I was worried how hard this thing could hit, I leave Dragonair in for a Dragon Rage to guarantee 40 HP off of the Wheezing, just for him to hit us right back with just about 40 HP of his own. You know, since maths said I would survive, I push our luck and thankfully no crits, as Dragonair survives with only 2 HP. Not wanting to lose our longest shiny hunt Pokemon, of course, I go into Pidgeotto, who also isn't strong enough. So I have to go back into Venusaur just for him to reheal all of the damage that we've done at this point. That's great. What was that, 3 Pokemon, 4 Pokemon to get to him to this point? I really thought it was Jover here. If Venusaur can't land a Sleep Powder on the Wheezing, none of my Pokemon can take it out, as they were all in critical condition. We miss, and miss again, leaving Venusaur within one-shot KO range. If Sleep Powder doesn't land this turn, the entire run, along with 50 hours of my life, are just gone. Not including the days that I spent resetting. But Jesus was finally on our side, as we land the Sleep Powder right before we get taken out, leaving us some time to set up some Leech Tea to hit some tackles before it eventually wakes up and just almost takes us out upon waking up, hitting us with the Sludge. Knowing that he's most likely going to go for a Sludge again, I go back into Arbok, who is able to survive and outspeed the next turn to take out the Wheezing with a Bite, just somehow surviving the battle. All that serious battle talk really has me itching to hit the casino. What? I don't have a problem. You do. I'm doing it for the shiny Pokemon, of course. What else would I do it for? Oh, well, this is awkward. I seem to have run out of coins. Guess no shiny Pokemon are to be had today, right? Oh well, better take out our local mafia members who have taken a totally innocent CEO hostage. But I forgot we gambled away everything I had. I take it back. I'm going full well-phobic on their ass. It's not fair they get to play the slot machines forever. Oh, well, not me. I have a limit. After defeating Team Rocket and an innocent Frenchman, we get ourselves a Master Ball, which makes it possible for us to challenge the 6th gym leader. This battle is the exact polar opposite from Koga's. I used our newly fully evolved Fabio Bird and spammed Wing Attack. And would you look at that, the gym's over. Just like that. Not even a single critical HP. Since I have some faith in our team and all of our side quests for shiny hunts haven't gone exactly so well as of late, I thought it would be best to beat the last 2 remaining gyms and use the remaining time to hunt for our last 2 shiny Pokemon. Because, well, you see, Dragonair using Surf really made these last 2 gyms look too easy. I mean, Dragonair soloing Gym 8 while under-leveled? That's just crazy. And it's going to help us out big time now, since we will spend less time grinding up for a Dragonite thanks to this XP. But damn, did I really have no idea how long this process was going to take. Speaking of which, I'm not going to reveal our total in-game time until the end here, but we're really starting to cut it close here. My one and only option left is to get the best and strongest shiny Pokemon I could. And also it had to be a static encounter Pokemon. Yeah, I'm talking about the real static Pokemon, baby! The Electric Bird! Just after a quick surf to the power plant and stripping all their copper, we can have a chance at capturing ourselves a real-life living generator. And of course, reset once it's not shiny. You know, just a couple of 100 of times. Maybe thousands, who knows? I mean, literally, I have no idea. I had to actually delete footage of half of these resets just to make room to record this gameplay. So, I actually have no idea. But you know what I do know? Is that we got it. Yeah. I know what you're thinking. You can't really tell, right? Especially if you missed the intro animation and weren't quite paying attention. I wouldn't blame you if you missed it at all and totally reset over this one. But not me. I know a shiny Big Bird when I see him. So of course it's time to rip out that Master Ball and get ready for the final hunt. And what's that final hunt? Reviving dinosaurs until we find a genetically mutated one. This one wasn't nearly as fun or as cool as it first sounded it would be. You know, the whole leaving the room thing so you can bring back a million-year-old Pokemon to life? It really gets old quick. I like my shiny hunts a little bit more brain dead. I mean, come on, bringing dinosaurs back to life in the time it took me to walk out of this room and back? You don't really expect me to believe that. No way. Oh yeah? Well, one time I had a dream. I was peeing in the toilet, and get this, didn't even pee myself. Bed completely piss-free when I woke up that morning. You believe that shit? Yeah, 6 hours of reviving the same 2 fossils aren't really cutting it for me. And honestly, I'm a little bit more concerned that these fossil creatures might be a little too frail and end up being extinct again. So you remember how I let your mom roll off into the mountains after waking her up from her Uber Eats food coma with some smooth jazz? Well, come on, don't tell me you don't remember. You were there. You were watching this video, weren't you? Well, that's just it. I'm gonna reset until I get a shiny version of your mom, because damn, she's thick. Let me get a slice of that pie. This is a specimen that can really pack a punch. I mean, sure, hunt won't nearly be as easy as Heart Gold, but surprisingly, this hunt didn't take anywhere as long as all the other shiny hunts so far. As we wake up, a shiny Snorlax. Yep, we really saved the least impressive shiny sprites for last, huh? First Big Bird, and now Big Mom. I mean, at least we have a Dragonite to look forward to, right? And I know, I said I wasn't going to nickname our Pokemon because I didn't want to get too attached to them. But for this one, it's already too late. That's your mom. Because nickname or not, I don't really care if your mom dies. Also, I guess your mom is a man. I guess. I don't know, man. I don't make the rules. Good for you. What do you think I'm going to do? Reset to fix this? I've already wasted enough time on your mom. I fully just realized now that 4 out of our 6 team members so far have been soft reset hunts, meaning no time was taken off the overall clock at all, and we still nearly beat this under 100 hours. Definitely wouldn't have been able to stay under 100 hours without the soft resets. After a very, very long training session, I ultimately used a bunch of our rare candies that we had picked up by our Meowth throughout our entirety of the run. I mean, we're talking like we had a lot, like enough that I could save some later on in the Elite Four in case we need more candy. With our very first Elite Four member being Lorelei, with our hard counter Zapdos for half of her team, we were able to strike down the first 3 members with Thunder, and easily take them out one by one, until she brings out Jinx, who I one-shot with a crit Earthquake, caused by your mom falling off a couch. After a long exchange, your mom is able to finally defeat her final Pokemon Cloyster, next to only a handful of Body Slams. In Surfs, completing our very first battle in the Elite Four. Bruno is hardly even worth a recap. Most of our team hard counters his, and Dragonite alone has the move pool to defeat his entire team. Agatha, on the other hand, is a completely different story. Dragonite picks up the first and easiest KO of her first Gengar with only 2 wing attacks. After missing 2 Thunders and getting poisoned, Zapdos finally deletes her Golbat from existence. Your mom causes more earthquakes than an average day in California, taking out her Arbok, and Dragonite takes out her next Gengar the same way as the last, after a few setbacks. Her Haunter, who survives a wing attack, only to kill itself. That's nice. Leaving only Lance and the champion, the Dragon Master, opens up with his totally dragon Gyarados, who's only 4 times weak to the slightest shock of electricity. I think a single bolt of, thunder would do the job. And let's just say the next Pokemon matchup, I left your mom and a 500-million-year-old pterodactyl in a room together and said, only one of you guys come out alive. And unfortunately, it was your mother. And next out is Lance's Dragonite. So I go into our green variant, but I'm slightly more prepared for this, since mine has the 4 times super effective Blizzard. And we don't even miss. Like a true Canadian. Taking out all of his remaining Pokemon, Snowflake, Ice Snowflake. Leaving only the Frenchman. A Frenchman named Time. Because now is the time to prove this entire journey was worth it in the end. And show him just what 80 hours of shiny hunting can get you. Oh, did I say 80? Oh, that's just on the clock. Yep. I'd at least, 4 times that off the clock, boss. We start with the Battle of Birds, but sadly, Harvard controls electricity and uses the element of thunder to take out his Chinese drone, leaving your mom and Rhydon to have an earthquake competition. And even though your mom seemed like it was losing, it was just waiting for the tsunami to hit. After the first earthquake to take down the Rhydon. Next up, Time tries to buy himself even more time by healing up his Alakazam that is doomed to go down to a wing attack by our Dragonite, to Zapdos to take out his Gyarados and Electrocute with ease, and just nearly take out his last and final Pokemon, Charizard. I don't know if it wasn't for that slight cluster of pixels there. That were its remaining HP, only for him to fully heal it next turn, making our fly damage look very sad, and also leaving us to lose Zapdos the next turn. our very first loss. And even Arbok right after. All while Bro hangs on to a single pixel of HP. Yet again, healing it up to full. But after a few more wing attacks, our Pidgeot finally seals the victory once and for all, and we are officially champion of the Kanto region, with only shiny Pokemon. Again, leaving us with a grand total playtime of 80 hours and 27 minutes. Definitely not possible to beat this under 100 hours without resets. No, it's always possible, so. But hey, that's just a theory. A gay man theory. Thanks for watching.